In the next 7 minutes, I'm going to show you what an EQ is, how it works, and how you can use it in your own audio. An EQ is one of the most important tools if you want to enhance your audio. I spent about 2 to 3 years learning EQ, but you don't have to spend that much time. You can learn the basics of EQ if you just give me 7 minutes of your time. So before understanding how to use an EQ, we have to understand what an EQ is. An EQ is basically an equalizer in which you can boost or cut frequencies. Think of it like a volume fader. When you slide the volume fader up, the volume goes up. If you slide the volume fader down, the volume goes down. That's exactly what EQ is. If you want to make a particular frequency louder, you slide it up, and if you want to make a particular frequency quieter, you slide it down. If you've ever been to a party, you must have seen a speaker with 3 knobs on it: bass, mids and treble. Well, those are the ranges that you can work on in an EQ. Now, how the heck do we know what frequencies to boost or cut? Suppose that a song is playing on the speaker and the bass of that song is just too loud. Then what do? We turn the bass down, right? And just like that, if a song sounds too harsh, what do? We turn the treble down or the highs down. That's exactly what EQ is. You're just basically turning up or turning down the volume of a particular frequency. That's it. See, our ears can listen from about 20 Hz to about 20,000 Hz, where 20 Hz is very low and 20,000 Hz is very high. And the distance between 20 Hz to 20,000 Hz is called a frequency spectrum. This is exactly where your bass, mids and your highs lie in. Now, how can you apply that in your audio? Let me show you. Okay, so this is what a basic EQ looks like. And this ranges from about 20 Hz to about 20,000 Hz. Over here I have a very rough vocal of mine which I just recorded about half an hour ago, so it is pretty raw. Please don't judge. So we're gonna see what we can do with this EQ on my vocal. Firstly, we're gonna see what our vocal doesn't need, and then we're gonna see what our vocal actually needs. So let's play the audio. On my way to a lonely night, where my demons are the only ones who would fight. So I can see that this vocal has a lot of low end, which this particular vocal does not need. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a high pass filter. A high pass filter or a low cut filter is basically something which cuts off the lows which you don't need. Basically all the rumble of your mic stand, all the rumble in your room, whatever it is. So we're going to try to remove those frequencies. On my way to a lonely night, where my demons are the only ones who would fight. You see, the moment I pushed it further than 200, my vocals sounded very thin and it started to lose character. On my way to a lonely night. So we have to be very mindful about this, and we have to do as much as we need, as much as the vocal needs. On my way to a lonely night. So I'm doing this till 200 Hz, but you don't have to do this till 200 Hz. This is because my mic is very cheap. My room is not as treated as those professional studios. So you get the idea. So now we'll try to cut off the frequencies in the mid range of our vocal. Okay. So this is where the bell shape EQ kicks in. A bell shape is nothing but a bell which helps you cut off or add frequencies in a particular frequency range, right? So what we'll do is we'll play the audio and we'll take this bell all the way up and see if there's something which sounds very unpleasant to our ears. On my way to a lonely night. You see, this sound very bad. So we'll try to subtract this. On my way to a lonely night, where my demons are the only. So let's try to turn this EQ off and on to see what difference does it make. On my way to a lonely night, where my demons are the only ones who would fight. Okay, so this sounds a lot cleaner. Not the cleanest, but we are taking baby steps. Okay, so now we're going to try to find some more frequencies that we don't need. On my way to a... We'll try to scan this again. On my way to a lonely night. You see, this sounds very bad, and we'll try to subtract this again. On my way to a lonely night, where my demons are the... Okay, we'll try to play this again with it off. On my way to a lonely night, with it on. On my way to a lonely night. This sounds a lot cleaner. Let's see if we can find some other frequencies. On my way to a lonely night, where my demons are the... See, this sounds very bad. We'll try to subtract this again. On my way to a lonely night. Now we'll try it on and off. On my way to a lonely night. Where my demons are the only. You see, this sounds so clean. So now what we just did was subtractive EQ. We subtracted all the things that we didn't need. Now we'll focus on the things that we do need. And I think that my particular vocal needs some brightness. So this is where our high shelf filter kicks in. A shelf filter is something which affects everything below or above a certain frequency range. So now since we need to add brightness, we're gonna put this above. On my way to a lonely night, where my demons are the only ones who would fight. On my way to a lonely night. Okay, so for now, this vocal sounds pretty good to me in terms of brightness. We're gonna try doing the on and off test again and see what difference did it make. So we'll try this with it off. On my way to a lonely night. With it on. On my way to a lonely night. Now I'll try to do it simultaneously while the audio is playing. Off. On my way on. To a lonely night. You see, with just some of the basic EQ knowledge, we just made this vocal sound so much cleaner and brighter and so much more alive. Obviously, you will need to practice to try and get the hang of it, but the concept is very, very simple. Just know that this was an example of my particular vocal. Your particular vocal might not need these things that I just did on my EQ. That totally depends on the kind of mic you use. I'm using a very cheap mic, in the kind of room you're in, if it's well treated or not treated, if your surroundings are good. All those factors come into place, and that's how you should do EQ accordingly. I hope this video was good, and if you want to learn more about the types of EQ, compression, types of compressors, saturation, whatever it is, you can just subscribe and comment down below, and I'll know that you are interested in this, and then I'll make more. Thank you.